I mean, for me, I used to drink drive quite a lot. Very, very immature and stupid. I don't recommend anyone do it.
I don't know. I haven't felt guilty about anything in a long time, dude. No, I just don't care about what I do to people. Nah, it's fucked up, dude. Like, I got serotonin issues. Like, you don't feel bad about shit, but you don't feel happy about shit either.
Probably bullying someone when I was little, but that was when I was little. You know, a lot of things. You say a lot of things to people that you don't really mean, but you just disregard them.
To be honest, nothing, because I don't feel guilty, because we only live once, so why should I?
Hey, what up? I am perfect. I'm just kidding. I hate myself in every aspect. Haha.
Oh yeah, same. I hate you too.
Oh, you're hella cute, man.
Okay, can I have a little kiss on the cheek?
No, excuse me. I have to go find my pot of honey.
You know how usually, like, when you're growing up, you're going through some changes, and I went through a change where, you know, it felt good, you know. But I regretted it because, like, I f***ed my couch, and like I put my between the couch cushions, and it felt good, so I kept going until I came. And I don't remember if I cleaned it up or not. And people could have, like, sat down on that couch.
I had a mental breakdown back in my junior year of high school, and it happened on my little brother's birthday.
I got pulled over once when I was like really drunk and passed on the meter, you know. And I was like, wow, I should have really, you know, failed and lost my license, but I passed and I stopped after that.
Oh, I eat too much.
No, it's like, I'm not sad, but there's just like a constant emptiness. It's kind of in the background most of the time, but it's always there. I should be on SSRIs, but I don't know. They don't really feel like it's a lie when I take them. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's me. Like, it's a fake version of me that's just created by drugs.
Like, that thought, like, obviously at the time, like, that wasn't on my mind or anything like that, but like he has reminded me a couple times, and it just, like, you know, when you have a mental breakdown, you don't think about, like, what day it is. Like, you don't plan, like, you know, today I'm gonna lose my mind, you know. But like, I do think about that a lot, that it did happen on his birthday, and now, like, you know, I'm sure, like, now at this point on his birthday, he does have to, like, think about that in some capacity. If I could have planned another day for it, I would have, you know.
I don't know, it could just be upsetting a friend or something, I guess. That makes me feel guilty. But then that's why you apologize for it, and it becomes hopefully better. Depends on how severe the thing was.
Maybe not being able to help as many people as I can. Even though I get harassed a lot of times, I always try to help everyone I can. And sometimes I can't help the people that are in need because of my own issues.
I don't know, I got this idea of who I am in my head, I guess. And like I don't get drunk, I don't do drugs and shit because it just doesn't feel like me. I guess if I make decisions when I'm like that, I don't feel like it's really me making the decision because it's like an altered version of myself. I don't like it. I'll feel stuff when, like, certain things happen. Like, if I'm having a really good time or whatever, I might feel good in that moment, but it goes away almost, like, as soon as the moment's gone. And then it's just back to kind of neutral and just don't care.
I mean, I'm sure it's different for everybody, but for me, it happens when, like, I have a major depressive disorder. And so, like, for me, when mental breaks happen, it's because, like, I'm just at the end, man. Like, and I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm kind of in that point right now where it just kind of feels like that's kind of like the only option, you know, like the only option left to get away from the cycle, you know, of just like disappointment and pain and, you know, expectations not met.
Basically, this girl liked me, and we had been friends for a while, and I was kind of conflicted, and I've never been in a relationship, so it was all kind of stressful for me. She had told me she liked me, and I had kind of I waited for maybe like 4 months to finally tell her that I didn't like her, and I feel like it kind of crushed her, and I just felt really guilty afterwards because I waited so long just to tell her that I didn't like her.
I was cornered by one of my parents, my stepmother, and like she wasn't letting, like she tucked me into her bedroom and was like, I'm not letting you leave until you tell me what's wrong. And I knew from past experiences that she was not going to be able to deal with what I had to say to her, but she wouldn't let me leave. And a lot of people, you know, at this point in my life, 4 years later, would say like, oh yeah, I just wouldn't have told her nothing, I would just would have walked out or whatever. And it's like, no, she like would not let me leave the room until I said something to her. So finally I was just like, I don't want to live anymore, like nothing feels like it's worth it. I just want to, like, I wish I could just like hit a disappear button and I would have never existed, you know? Like, nobody had to feel anything about me being gone or anything like that. And her response to me was, do it then. Her response was, go kill yourself. You're not going to do it because you just want attention.
There was once like a massive misunderstanding between me and a friend where I kind of like jumped to conclusions about what happened. I mean, I can't really, it's a really, really long story and I can't really be bothered going into the details of it. But it turned out that like I jumped to conclusions like an absolute moron, and I ended up like apologizing and but even though he accepted the apology, I was like, dude, I was just too scared to talk to him afterwards for a while, until I eventually just was like, you know what, I got to man up. The past is the past, and now we're basically, yeah, we're like best friends now. So
that was just kind of like the tipping point, you know, like when you get told by your own parent that you don't actually want to do anything, you just want attention. Like, it kind of just like solidifies that in your brain, and like you're just like, oh, okay, well then, you know, might as well do it. Like, nobody's gonna care. Right now, what's going on is you ever have that one person that you're like the closest to, like that one person knows everything about you, you know, the good, bad, the ugly, you know, and you tell each other everything, right? Well, that guy was very close to me. I've known him since I'm 22 now. I've known him since I was 9 years old. And last October, like literally 7 days before his 30th birthday, he got in a massive car wreck and was killed.
She immediately FaceTimed me. We just kind of talked. She was crying, so that wasn't fun. But she was just asking me questions like what happened? How did you feel throughout this entire thing? You know, I guess it was kind of just reassurance for her, just to know how, like, my side of the story, you know.
Ever since then, it just doesn't really feel like anything matters anymore. It just kind of feels like no one really cares, you know? Like, no one's going to care like he did. And part of me is like, I don't want to tell people about this stuff because I don't want to feel like I'm seeking attention.
At the end of the day, everyone's human. You can make a mistake, and it's sort of up to you to try and correct the mistake, and up to the other person whether they think that you've changed enough for them to accept you again.
I guess because just the experiences that I've had growing up with them and everything, like, it's harder for me to get close to my family than it is to get close to like a new friend, you know. I just don't let myself trust because of all the shit that I've gone through with them, you know. Like, I don't even talk to my mother anymore, my birth mother. I don't talk to her. I haven't spoken to her since 2016. Yeah, my stepmother's the one who told me to kill myself. It's kind of weighed on me since then. It's, you know, like people always say, like, it's easier some days than others, you know, and that's true. Like, it's kind of always there, but a lot of the times it's easier to just kind of push in the back of your head and just kind of ignore it and just go along with your day and distract yourself. But like, there are times when you just can't escape it, you know?
I feel guilty about being a bad friend and let my friends send nudes around and don't stop them. I feel guilty because I think I should have gone in between and stopped her. She got bullied at school then and took a bad end.
My birthday was on the 14th, and my last roommate that I had, because I at one point I was living with 3 roommates. There was 4 people in a 3-bedroom house. I was sleeping on the couch. Like, it was, but eventually, like, all my roommates moved out, and my last roommate moved out on my birthday. So, like, my birthday I spent alone in my house, and ever since then I've been sitting in my, like, I just been alone in my house because I lost my job when the pandemic hit, you know.
I went to a store to buy like a notebook, but I got 2 notebooks and the cashier only charged for 1. So then I didn't realize she only charged for 1 until after I left, and then I didn't go back and pay for the second one.
I was working offshore on an oil rig. I was fairly new to the company, so when they started laying people off, of course, the new people get laid off first, and I didn't have an important position, you know. So they laid me off, and now I'm getting unemployment and just kind of sitting at home, you know. There's some stuff that I do, like at working at home, to get money and stuff like that, to try to make sure I have something to fall back on when the unemployment inevitably runs out. I gotta go figure out what I'm gonna do, you know. I gotta pay all these bills by myself now. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you, the main reason why I haven't just ended it already is because I have animals to take care of. Like, I have a dog that I've had since I was a sophomore in high school who's laying right next to me, and like, if she wasn't here, then I'd have been gone, bro.
It's hard to think because maybe my brain deleted those memories. Oh, I remember. Okay. I don't remember this, but my sister told me about it. I was around 6 years old and she told me that I killed her hamster because it was on the couch and then I just sat over the hamster.
And it's been harder and harder to just brush the feeling off. I used to have a therapist, actually. I used to see a psychologist for about 3 or 4 years, yeah. I was on Lexapro for 4 years, I think. I was on the highest dose that you can get of Lexapro. Like, they were thinking about just making me take like 2 pills a day, just because they couldn't go over the milligrams that they had already given me, and it just wasn't working for me anymore. So eventually, actually what happened was, not last November, but the November before that, so 2018, I hadn't seen my doctor. My doctor's a specialist. She works, like, her office is like 3.5 hours away from me where I live. And she called me up and was like, hey, haven't seen you in like a year, so until you come down and like drive down here and come see me and get an appointment with me, which I didn't have health insurance at the time, like, I'm not gonna write you any more prescriptions. So like, I don't know if you know anything about antidepressants or anything, but anything like that, like, you're never supposed to quit like cold turkey. Like, you're never supposed to just like stop taking it.
I feel guilty one time because I do joke like, yeah, you're adopted to a friend, and he was really adopted, so I was like feeling very bad because of that.
So for like 4 months, I didn't even have the opportunity to get my antidepressants, so I stopped. I just had to stop, just cold turkey, and I haven't taken them since. And I did learn for a while. I went to a mental hospital. I don't want to say institution, a mental hospital for a little while back in 2015, and that was very eye-opening for me. There's a lot of stuff I didn't like about it, about being there, obviously. It got to the point where I learned how they called them techs, the nurses who watch over everybody. I learned what they were doing. Like, when we ate and stuff, there would always be like a couple techs in there, and I figured, at first I just thought like, they're there to just make sure like no one's gonna fight, or anything like that. But what I found out, because one was sitting right next to me while I was eating one day, they had charts, and they would write down, like, because you could get as much food as you wanted in the cafeteria line. You could be like, oh, I want that, I don't want that, whatever. But if you didn't eat like at least half of your food, like, they would write that down and you would stay longer. And I didn't want to stay there longer because it was not a fun place to be. It really just comes down to, like, I found that the system is less about helping people and more about playing the game. So like, even though to be honest with you, even though I should not have left at that point because I was still in a bad place, I learned how to manipulate them to get what I wanted so I could get out faster, and that's exactly what I did, and I got out a lot sooner than I should have.
Guilty. Screaming at my mom. My mom is not deserve that, and I'm gonna feel it's hard to explain. But I have a talent. You wanna know? Don't touch me there. No square. Don't touch me there. This is my no square. Don't touch me there. This is my no square. Yeah, that's my talent.